Okay, I know what you guys are thinking. Yesterday I didn't do a video. I was supposed to do like a psychological Thursday. Kind of screwed up. But anyway, today I'm going to be doing something different. I'm going to go out again in Montreal. Before that though, I just want to highlight one thing that I've got from one of my viewers. And we're going to do that right away. It's kind of a technical setup, so let's just take a look. Long story short, I have this old video on my channel that I've published 374 days ago, and I just got a comment today, so I'll look at that quickly. The guy's gonna recognize himself probably, but he said there's a nice setup of this type of strategy, which is with the engulfing. He says there's a nice setup on AUD CAD, which is a pair I don't really trade, but since we mentioned it, I thought I would just look at the pair and show you guys how I will analyze that setup. It was on the 1 hour chart, it said, and in fact, I just looked at it a little bit before. There's been a nice engulfing candle, right? This candle right here. Okay, this is a perfect candle, as we could call it. I have a way of explaining what's a perfect engulfing candle. There's a checklist on my blog, but basically this is what it is, okay, in short. Now, I wouldn't take any trade just like this. In other words, I wouldn't just buy here above the high, stop loss below the low, because we don't know what's around, right? We need to understand everything happening on the side of this trade. And that's why I usually like to look at support resistance first before looking at any setup. So the way I would look at it is I would go on the daily chart first to look at the support resistance levels. And what you guys are going to see is that we have a resistance here at the top. We do have kind of a support here, maybe, and then another support right there. Okay, so those are not round numbers, I just draw them quickly, and that's pretty much what we have. Now, what we can identify here is that between those two levels, okay, we need to be really aware of that higher level here, 1.03, because this is going to be an important level, right? Because we've been touching here before. So we need to be careful of that, because we cannot hold any trade, or we need to at least be careful when price is going to pull up to that level, which is kind of starting to do. We need to be really careful because we have to maybe close half the trade here or take some profit around that level. That's why we have to be really careful. If we can get in within the low risk, it's good, but if we cannot, we're much better leaving that trade away and never trading on that, right? And that's the thing. If we're going to trade here on the daily chart, just buying here, we don't have a good reward to risk because we might have this thing here of risk, and compared to the reward, it's only like a 1-to-1, so it's not worth it. But the good point is if we can go on a lower time frame, like what we're talking about here. And usually we're going to identify some zones. So what we could do is, since we're kind of in an uptrend on the daily chart, we could look at some sort of trend line, right? Like this one here. And we're kind of coming back near this area. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect, but we know we're coming back to this trend line right here. And then you go on the 1 hour chart, you look at that setup, perfect setup, right? Perfect engulfing candle. Engulfing candle meaning that we're going to be pulling back. Let me draw this here. We're pulling back a little bit. Then we have this bullish engulfing candle, which says there's pressure by the buyers here. So you have to be careful. Price is likely to go up. And of course, I know you guys are going to say, well, these candles like this, right? They're everywhere. You can find them on any chart at any time, and a lot of them are going to be losers. And I have to agree with this. It's totally true. There's like, it's 100% true. The only difference is that if you look at those right here, they don't have the same alignment. They're not in alignment with the daily chart, right? Look at this candle here. I'll put it around it. Go on a daily chart. Where's that candle? It's like, I think it's right there. Okay, but we didn't have any time for a pullback, and that's the important part. So yes, engulfing candles are good, but the first step to anything, to any trading, is going to be identify an area where you might be likely to trade, like a trend line, a pullback area, or a support resistance, and then look at your setup. Then look at what you want to trade, the candlesticks, the indicator, and everything you want to trade with, right? if you wanted to make this trade even more reliable, the one thing you could do is to look at one indicator. Here I have the RSI, but the RSI might not be the best case here because we're in a trend. So it's always going to be like near the overbought level. But let's say we took a moving average. I don't know, up to you. But you pick what you want and then you look for your setups, right? This is in alignment with kind of a break of the 30 EMA, which does not necessarily have anything to do. I didn't test the 30 EMA, but you pick whatever you want and then you add it for more confluence. And that's how you create strong setups. So yes, good setup right here. And I didn't take that because I don't trade AUD CAD usually for just no reason. But if you guys want to look for a strong setup, this is a good way to go. Now we'll stop this right here and we'll get started with the travel in Montreal and the rest of the day.